Sorry about that. Hello! I'm probably gonna do like a very short stream, relatively. I just want to do something a little fun. As you can tell from the title, I'm just gonna be presented with a bunch of random scenarios, and I'm just gonna be giving my answers to how I'll react to them, just because, you know, it's like, hey, why not? It could be fun, and I can go back to this, and I could probably turn some of my responses into, like, maybe little animatics. Who knows? It probably just depends on how I feel and if I have the motivation to. I'm sure I will, because, you know, it'd be fun. And I'll probably give a little update on, like, how I want my channel to go from this point forward, because I will not lie, after doing the welcome home video, I kind of want to do more things like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I do find playing games kind of fun, but I also want to, like, branch out to other things. Like, I even want to do, like, videos where I, like, summarize a whole book. Like, for example, like the Frankenstein book, I'm working on that right now. So if I'm, like, slow on uploads and stuff like that, it's probably because I'm working on a big project, and it's probably just gonna require a lot of things from both art and me figuring out how to write correctly. So yeah, anyways, but let's just move on to the whole thing. I also have a little thing, so if I ever want to just, you know, draw, I could just go blue 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 blue. But that won't be for a while. So the first scenario is, you sold your soul to the devil. What did you sell it for? Now me, I feel like I already sold my life to Creep. Hello, Creep, down there in the corner. So at this point, you know, I'm pretty willing to sell my soul if it's to, like, save my family. It's quite obvious. But if I had to, like, pick another scenario, I feel like a funny thing I would do if I was feeling a little stupid that day, I'd probably be looking at, like, the demon in front of me. I'll be like, yo, I'll sell my soul to you if I can be your assistant. And they're gonna be like, excuse me? That doesn't sound like something anyone would have fun with. But you know what? I would be their assistant. I'll be like the receptionist. I'll be at, like, the receptionist desk being like, oh, hey, you want a meeting with the devil? Let's see. Their 2 o'clock is open and stuff like that. Like, I'd straight up be like, yeah, I'll sell my soul to be, like, a freaking assistant. Why not? It sounds like a funny job. It would probably be a scary job, though, because it is the devil. But it would be kind of amusing. Like, just, like, imagine me just, like, at my little receptionist desk, you know, just, you know, living my best life. Just trying to, like, vibe. That is, yep, that is me. That is me right there. You know, just proud of myself, crossing my arms, you know, at my little receptionist desk table. Some people are just like, do I really have to be in heck? And I'm like, yeah, you want to talk to the devil? They're like they're like my boss. What the frick? So yeah, that's, like, my whole idea. It could be a funny thing, who knows. But yeah, I feel like I'll sell it for that. It's either I'll sell my soul to save my family, or I would sell my soul to be a funny little assistant. I'll be like, hey, why not? For my dying days, I'll be by your side. Like, it would be so dumb. But I could see myself doing that, just because I was like, why not? It could be a little amusing, it could be a little funny. So yeah, and then second one, what would you do given 24 hours to live? Now, I remember seeing this one TikTok where someone called, like, someone they really, like, despised, and just says, yo, I found something very bad, and if I don't make it out tomorrow and I'm dead, well, something bad happened. And I don't know why, something about that, I find it so humorous. I'm like, I would totally do that if I had any enemies. I'm not really a confrontational person. I don't really have anyone who I hate out of spite at all. Like, I genuinely can't think of anyone. So instead, I'd probably do something dumb, be like, oh, I'll go live, or I'll make a video being like, guys, I've discovered something from the government. The government, I say. I discovered something so bad and so terrifying that I can't say it because it's probably going to be the reason why I die the next day. So if I die, just know that the knowledge I have is what killed me. And people are going to go in a frenzy being like, what? This girl just randomly died of who knows what the next day after 24 hours after. And she, like, posted this video and she's like, what happened to them? And I'm like, yeah, I'm dead now, and everyone's gonna just be constant, like, my whole death will be turned into a mystery. I'm just saying, it will be a whole mystery, a whole frenzy. People will be like, what did she discover? Government, give us answers. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, next one. What is one embarrassing moment you go back to and change if you could? Okay, real story. I'm gonna talk about something. I was, like, very young. I don't know what age. It was, like, maybe middle school age, I'm assuming. Maybe a little younger. And I was going, it was, like, Halloween, and I was out with my sister and my family, of course. And we also had, like, a baby cousin, which my sister was, like, walking around with a stroller. And at some point, we saw, I can't remember which one it was. I think we saw a Jason, person who was dressed like Jason in Halloween. And my sister was like, yo, hey, can you tell that person to go scare me so we can make our little cousin laugh? And I'm like, why do I have to do that? Because like I'm not really the most social person in existence, so I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm pretty timid and stuff like that. She's like, just go do it. Like I couldn't say no to my sister, so of course I was like, fine. So I walked up to this person, but for some reason, I got my movie like villains like mixed up, and I was like Mason instead of like Jason, and I was like, oh no. And then the teenagers laughed at me. It was genuinely, it made me not that happy. I was like, what? Like, imagine you're just like a little kid, just like, enjoying your best life, doing, I don't even know what I was dressed up as that day, but I don't know. Just like, imagine you were just like a little kid, and you just like walk up to like a freaking like Jason cosplayer Halloween person, and then they just start making fun of you with like their friends because you got like the freaking name wrong. I'd be like, I was so sad. I literally turned away. I cried to myself and just walked away, and I like approached my sister and I was all like, they said no, and she's like, go do it again, and I'm like, and then I was like, I turned around and I was like, I couldn't do it because like I was already embarrassed. I was like an embarrassed like middle schooler, and I was like, I can't do it, and she's like, useless, and walks away. Okay, she didn't say that, she wasn't that mean, but like I'm still embarrassed to this day. I can never live it down. And to the rude teenagers who made fun of a little girl because they mixed up the freaking person they were dressed up as, screw you. That hurt my feelings. Okay, anyways, next one. You're a mad scientist. What experiment would you run if money and ethics weren't an issue? Now, look, I know that when it comes to the whole, Frankenstein's monster, I know I mentioned that in the beginning, but the Frankenstein monsters, you should never do that, it can lead to a dark path, this monster will probably, it comes out as a baby with no knowledge, and you have to train it into be a good person. But if your creation comes up a little spooky, such as like the Dr. Frankenstein guy, he was like, oh, my creation, my monster, I don't want to deal with that anymore. Hold up. Sorry, someone walked into my room. Anyways, Frankenstein's like Frankenstein and with his monster, you don't want to get into any shenanigans. Also, sorry for someone walked into my room and I kept telling them, shoo, I'm doing something. They're like, no, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, I can't right now. Anyways, sorry about that. But yeah, again, I would probably want to figure out how to reanimate the dead. I know I'm a necromancer, so I'm kind of already cheating. But like, using real science, though, I want to know if it is possible. I doubt it, but like if there's a chance, and it could be interesting. Like imagine you could like put your consciousness into a robot or something. Like that seems like you. I feel like that could be a way to keep someone alive. And I was like, maybe if I was a mad scientist or just someone who had all the money in the world to do experiments, I'd probably want to see if I could do anything with life. I want to meddle a little bit. I want to play as God, even though I know I shouldn't be. But like, it could be a funny little thing. It could be a funny little thing. Next one. You read a book only to discover that it's your life. You continue to read. Knowing you'll know every aspect of your life. Now, me personally, if I found like a mysterious looking book and it just has like all my life written down in it, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'd read it. And here's the thing. I feel like out of like curiosity, I'd probably like grab some whiteout or like an eraser, depending on like if it's like a journal with like writing and stuff like that. I'd probably grab like something and like just see if I could like erase some things from like my life. Like imagine like one moment of my life says, oh, your dog dies at this date. I could just like erase it, and then suddenly that thing is gone and be like, boom, my dog's still alive. It could be like I'd probably risk it just to see if it will work. And I want to see if there's like I want to see if there's anything bad in my life so I could see if I could change it. It's probably not the best thing to do, but like what if you read something be like, oh, you stubbed your toe real bad and now you got an infection or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something bad. If that ever happened to me, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll grab some whiteout and just like erase it, because of course I will. I don't want to have like a nasty toe. Plus, I also want to. I'm the type of person when I read a book, I always skip to the ending, just because I'm like impatient as frick. I really gotta like teach myself not to do that, which is what I'm doing with the Frankenstein book, or the modern Prometheus, and I've ooh, can I say, man? Some I have to like really like have a lot of restraint when it comes to like not skipping pages. But if this is the story of my life, of course I'm gonna read it, and of course I'm gonna see if I could try to tamper with it. Maybe I'll like erase it and then write my own dialogue into it. Who knows? You could like imagine just discovering a book of your life and you could change it. I would 100% of like abuse that power nonstop. I don't care, man. Like I could turn myself rich if I had a book like that, or I could just make something simple. Like it'd be like, oh, I opened up a shop and it's successful. So like I could still have like the luxury to be like, oh, I did this by myself, but not really because I cheated. Like I just like, whew. Plus I also like if anything like were shocking were to happen to my life that I'd much rather not happen in my life, I could change it and be like, yep, now that didn't happen. Ooh, it's probably not the best thing, but it's still an option that I would like at least attempt if I ever did found a book of my own life and if I could tamper with it. Like, I don't know, it could be an interesting little thing. Okay, Eldritch monster falls in love with you. How do you react? Okay, I would be scared if like a Cthulhu looking thing, like freaking like a monster that's just gonna like terrorize the world. Just like, yeah, I am in love with you. What be like, yeah, and then there's just like me in the bottom and I'm like, me? I'm just a normal human. Like, you know how freaking creepy that would be? And, like, you know how like there's like a hero would sacrifice like their loved ones to save the world while a villain would do the opposite? I feel like I'd be like, maybe if I say yes, maybe I'll be set for life. It will be pretty okay. It will be pretty alright. And I'll be like, yeah, maybe I'll consider it. But at the same time, it's like a freaking monster. Like, if they can change themselves to look like at least human when they're around me, I'd probably be like, yeah, sure, I'll go about it. Like, cause like, imagine how hard it would be if you're just like walking around and there's just like a freaking like a void monster that wants to like consume humans. It would probably be the best if they could just like take human form. So then I'll be like, yeah, I can probably live with the fact that you wanna date me. But even then, I'm a little bit of an aromantic. I'm like, I don't really care about romance too much, so I'll probably be like, you see, you might be in love with me, but I doubt that I'll ever be in love with you, so do you want to take that chance? And if they're like, yes, I am a monster anyway, so you can't say no to me, and I'm gonna be like, damn, why does this feels like a Wattpad story? Leave me alone. Like, like, it's an eldritch, like, freaking creature monster thing. I can't really say no, so I'll probably just have to, like, bite my tongue and be like, fine, I'll do it, just promise not to hurt my family. And then I'll just live with it. I'll live with it. Even if it's like the most dumbest thing in existence, I'll live with it. And I mean, what bad can it be? Like, look, I can go into a store and I can be like the biggest Karen in existence, and like what are they gonna do? Like kick me out? They can't do that. I have like a freaking monster behind me that's just gonna always like be like, you mess with them and you're gonna get a whole lot of pain. Like, I can abuse the power of having something that's so powerful and so scary on my side and be like, yep, you can't mess with me, I'm too cool. So yeah, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll accept it. I'll not be happy about it, but I'll accept it. Okay, next one. Actually, I never thought of this, actually. Let me look up like, whenever I think of, like, dystopian kind of things, I always think of two versions. I either think of something that's very cyberpunk, or something that looks like nature's taking over the world. And genuinely, I'm not sure which one will frighten me more. I feel like a part of me would probably be a little startled if it was nature that's reclaiming the world. Because, like, technology, everyone is so used to technology at this point that they're like, I mean, we can't live without it. So imagine living in a world where like plant life starts consuming buildings, consuming everything, and like animals are taking over. And like, bro, these plant life, imagine in the future plants evolve to such a startling like way. Like, we're just like look, Venus, like, so Venus flytraps, they're very small, right? They're cute and small little plants. Right? Imagine in a dystopian future, man. They just like grow like fucking 100 times bigger their size, and little puny humans are like, oh my goodness, I'm probably gonna die. Like, I don't know how living in a world like that where like plants are taking over. Because, like, don't get me wrong, plants are beautiful, but they're also very scary, and many of them can be very little poisonous too. So I'm like, I don't know if I'll be safe in this world. I'll probably like look at a plant and be like, will it eat me? or will it provide me shelter? Like, I don't know if I will trust it, man. It's probably gonna go, hello, human, munch, and I'm dead. Right? Because at least with like cyberpunk kind of like scenarios, it'd be a little cool. Like people with like robotic parts or something, and like flying cars, and like these buildings with like so much like neon lights, and like sure it'll be a little crowded based on like which type of like cyberpunk thingy you're looking at. The majority of them, honestly. But like still, like I feel like I would probably prefer that more just because of how colorful it is, and then nature taking over is just scary to me. Just scary. It's such a pathetic thing to be scared of, but I'm like, ooh. I don't know how to feel. Don't know how to feel. Next one. Your fantasy creature. What fantasy creature would you like to bring back to life? So there's so many fantasy-like creatures out there, and I don't know which one would intrigue me the most. So I had like a little list off to the side. Let me see. Oh, fairies. Now look. Some people don't know this about fairies. Some people, when they think of fairies, they always think of like Tinkerbell, like the sweet ones. Nah, there's like some very spooky fairies out there. Let me tell you, like if you enter a fairy's home and like you accept an item from them, you're basically indebted to them. And if you tell them their name, they basically like, I don't know if they have a rule over you. I can't remember the exact things, but fairies or fays, same difference, I guess. I don't know. They're like scary, but like I would probably want like a fairy just because like imagine you get like the opportunity to befriend a fairy. So if anyone were to mess with you, you'd be like, hey, I'll give your name to my fairy friend. And like what are they gonna do? Say no? The fairies can be pretty scary. And if I can befriend a freaking fairy, I'd take that opportunity and be like, best friends. Will I trust them with my name? Probably not until I get the fairy's name first. Because like again, like I've only learned about this from like some friends where they're like, oh yeah, fairies, they're cool if they're like family friendly, but the majority of them are scary because if you give them your name, they will abuse that power. If you accept one of their meals, like if they provide a meal and you enter their home, they'll mess you up as well. And if you step in like one of their circles as well, it's like, yeah, fairies, they're cool with a limit. Because some fairies will literally want to mess you up. They'll be like, like look, let me show you actually. I've drawn a fairy before, and this fairy is one you should not befriend. Let me see if I could find them. Like they were like this is like the first time I've ever drawn a fairy, and I inspired them as like a mushroom. And this fairy, ooh, let me tell you, they were sassy. And not only were they sassy, but they were like intimidating as frick. Cause like the whole group, like we were playing as characters, cause like we liked writing little stories. I can't find it. Where the frick did I put it? We were playing as like little characters, and the fairy interrupts their like little. There it is, right here. Gosh, the drawing is so huge. There she is. Oh my gosh, it's hard to see her because the screen is so tiny. But yes, I freaking she is a. This is like very old art style though, so it's not like my peak of how I draw things. But like freaking, she is one to not mess with. They will mess you up, man. Like literally, we just entered their home and they're all like, "I'm gonna ruin your life," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why are they so?" I made them, I drew them, but I didn't do anything about their personality until it was time for like the freaking. It was like the session, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's genuinely scary," and I was like, "Oh, maybe it was a good thing though that I gave her like sharp teeth." Where the frick did the drawing go? Right here. Like, I literally gave her sharp teeth, so I was like, I don't know what personality she'll have, so I'll give her, like, at least a little spiky thing. And I actually did some research beforehand on fairies, so I can, like, at least have some ideas of what to do. So that's when I started going to the rabbit hole of learning about, like, fays and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are they so cute? So cute. And so freaking intimidating. Like, how am I supposed to live with this? But yeah, I'd probably bring a fairy just because, like, I'll try to befriend it and then threaten people, being like, hey, I have a fairy friend. You mess with me, you're messing with them. Is it a little rude? Maybe. Well, another idea probably is also mermaids, but here again, if they're like the siren ones, they're scary. But if they're like the My Little Mermaid ones, then it's probably like you can probably hang out with them. Like you could just go to the beach and they'll be like, oh, hello there. We'll be here to protect you from sharks and stuff like that. Oh, let me tell. I was on TikTok and like this scared me. So this is why I don't I'm not scared of the ocean, but because of these things that I keep seeing, it scares me so much. So a group of friends, they went on a trip and like to a freaking island or something, and at some point their friend saw a group of dolphins far out and they're like, oh, I want to go see the dolphins because dolphins are cute and right. They're cute, right? So she tried swimming towards them, and then instead, though, she got attacked by a freaking, like, a lot of freaking, like, 3 sharks. She lost, like, a lot of everything. I'm not gonna go into detail, though, because that's not my place to say, but, like, that story made me so scared to even dip my feet into, like, freaking deep waters, because I'm all like, what? That is so scary. And like, yeah, maybe, okay, mermaids, if they're like kind mermaids who will protect me, I'll probably say a mermaid instead. If they're like sirens who will sing to lure in men and women and whatever to like feast on them or something, I don't know. Anyways, but honestly, any fairy tale creature is a big hard thing to trust, because with like movies, like they're like, the Little Mermaid, Tinkerbell, they're so sweet, right? No, they're like wolves in sheep clothing. They will ruin your life. I don't know if you can trust that. Next one. You're reincarnated as an animal with a similar personality to yours. What animal? So, let me tell you, bruh. Let me tell you. A cat. Now, let me explain why. Let me draw a little cat real quick. Bloop, bloop. Yep, that's me. So, you're a cat, right? You know, you're just like a little meow meow. Freaking, you can be an asshole to anyone, and they'll still love you. Like, I feel like I'd be a cat. Plus, my personality, I like to assume, like, my personality flip-flops between being, like, similar to a cat than being similar to, like, a dog. Because, like, sometimes I can be very excited over small things, and then other times I can be, like you know, a little, like standoffish, where I'm like, don't touch me, you revolting peoples. I'm trying to see if I could draw a better cat. Hold up. You know what? That works. I can't draw with the eraser tool. It's mostly line tools. So, like, bruh, like, just being a cat, like, I can be an asshole and people will still love me. Like, freaking the power. And you know, like, I've talked to some cat owners and they're saying, oh, my cat thinks they're like the queen or the king of the home, and at this point I kind of just let them believe that, and I would be fine with letting myself trick myself into believing, oh yeah, I'm in the all-powerful cat with my little bed, and you clean my poo off of my cat's litter. Like, I don't know, I'd choose that life just because I can be an asshole. But I mean, there's some good cats. You know, I've seen stuff where there's like cats that were raised by dogs, and like, what? It's so strange how much a personality can shift so fast with certain animals. And if I can't pick a cat, I'd probably say a bird, because like again, I'm scared of like high up places, especially if I'm like standing, but if you're a bird, you already have the ability to fly. So I probably would be less scared. Like, as long as I'm still relatively close to the ground, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll be a bird. I can like fly, I can relax, I can, like, you know, early bird gets the worm. I'd probably be like, yeah, would you love me if I was a worm? Yeah, I'd love you because you're a snack. Like, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll do that. I like that. I like that life. I'll be a bird or a cat, one of the two. Because one, I could be an asshole, and the other one, I could just be free. I can fly and be free. Oh my goodness. But at the same time, when it comes to being a bird, though, you have to make your own nest, and if like it gets like winter seasons or like very rainy, unless you build your home inside like a tree, it's gonna be a little cold. So I don't know, but like, one of those two. Next one, you're out with a group of people, and the conversation bores you. What would you do? Now this. Honestly, I'm the type of person who would bite my tongue and not really care. I'll probably just I usually find any conversation fascinating regardless of what it is. But if it's like so boring where they're like, let's talk about politics, like, and I just want to get the frick out of there, I'll probably be like the most weirdest, like, this is my most weirdest strategy. I'll probably like, imagine I'm pointing forward and I'm like, ghost! And if not that, I'll be like, there's a robber or a bear or like any other example that I could think of. They'll turn away from me, right? Because they're busy trying to look for whatever thing I looked at. And I'll just book it. I'll book it. I don't care if I have to, like, I'm just running. I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. That stuff already bores me, and I'm too confused about it. So I'll just yell something so dumb. Or I'll even say something as random as, hey, isn't that like a clown that's your childhood best friend? And they'll be like, what you mean by that? I'd be like, yeah, isn't that Dave? That's Dave right there. They're dressed like a clown, and they're gonna look being like, who the frick is Dave? And then that's also another opportunity to run away. But if that doesn't work and I can't distract them, then what would be a good way to, like, you know, swerve the topic away from that? I'll probably bring up hypotheticals, maybe, like something be like, oh, you know, like the trolley problem, where it'd be like, there's a group of children that are tied to the freaking road, not the road, the train tracks, and then on the other side though, it's a random person, but they're a person who donates to charity and stuff like that. They're a good person. They're random to you, but they're a good person. Would you or would you not stop the trolley from hitting the kids, or would you let them kids get run over or something like that? Like, obviously the people are gonna be like taken aback, being like, why are you asking these questions now? We're talking about other stuff. I'll be like, no, I'm genuinely curious about this icebreakers. Plus, let's move away from some boring topics. And they'll be like, fine, whatever, I'll answer the questions. And if not that, you could also present to them a challenge. Be like, hey, I bet you can't run back over to the vending machine and buy me a soda and then come back in like under a minute or something like that. And like some people, they love the challenge. So I'll be like, yeah, they'll probably do it. Maybe there's a chance. I'll give it a try. But at the same time, again, I'm still the type of person who probably just bite my tongue and be like, yeah, just continue talking. I'll just sip on my water in peace. Speaking of water. Stay hydrated. I don't know if the mic picks up me drinking, because I don't want that, because it sounds very weird. Anyways, next one. You could eat one type of food for the rest of your life. What would it be? Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Potatoes. Now, look. Mashed potatoes, freaking boiled potatoes, which is similar to mashed potatoes, French fries, just like you could cut them. If I'm able to put any seasoning that I want or use anything else on top of like my potatoes all the way. Plus it will still be like a good source of like food that will still keep me alive. So I'll say potatoes all the way. And I'm not just saying that because, potatoes is a very good food to, always land on. I'm just saying it's actually a logical choice. And you could turn the potatoes into anything. Like, if you get bored of eating too much french fries, you could eat some, like, smashed potatoes. If you get too bored of smashed potatoes, you could just have, like, other variations of whatever the frick. And then, boom. You could survive off potatoes. Potatoes are good. And I don't think I'll ever get bored of potatoes, if I'm being honest, so I'll eat potatoes. Potatoes and meat. Speaking of potatoes, this is, like, freaking television program that, I don't know, I think it stopped. But I can't remember how the song goes, but like, potatoes and potatoes, something along those lines. And I always think about that, and I want to find it and search it up again, because it was such like a freaking cute thing of my childhood that I kind of want to remember. Anyways, a witch spell has turned you into an inanimate, non-electronic object. To break the spell, you need to put you have to get 100 people to touch you. Now look, listen. It can't be electronic, so you can't say a phone, because that's like an easy option. Everyone will touch you, or like a keyboard as well. Like, everyone will touch you. But here's the thing, a button. This button doesn't have to even be electronic. It could just be like a simple button that's just randomly on the wall that's not connected to anything. I will rely on people's interest to touch me. That sounds so weird. To touch the button. And I'm sure like after like maybe like a few like maybe a month, maybe a few weeks, I'm sure a lot of people will touch the button that I am, and I'll probably be the spell will be broken. And if I can't say a button, then I'll probably say, can I be a wall that's in like a very populated place? Or like maybe even like a table that's in like a restaurant. Will I be filthy? Yeah, because the tables, people eat off of them. But being in a restaurant, literally many people will come and go and touch the items. So I'm like, yeah, either a button that's randomly somewhere that people will be fascinated with and poke it, or a freaking wall that people will probably lean against or just put their hand on, and or a table. Those are like, they seem like some logical options, because if you can't pick electronics, can't say a phone, and I can't think of anything else. Also, a floor would make sense too, because a lot of people would be stepping on a floor. Unless we're talking about like their bare skin touching you, then it has to be their hands that are touching me. Like, unless they're the type of person who wears a glove, then who knows about that. But I'm like, I feel like that would make sense. So yeah, I'd be a button and or a table and or a wall, because that would make sense. Next one, you're in a zombie apocalypse. What would be your weapon of choice? Now, logically speaking, the best, based on like what many people have told me, the best option to have is a wooden bat with like nails built into it. And let me tell you why. Because like with like a metal bat, it's like, sure, it's swifter, but it won't pack as much as a punch. But a wooden bat, it will hit real hard. I could probably crush skulls with that. And if you have nails on it, it would be more damage. Though it could probably get stuck easily, so who knows about that. Now, if I'm thinking of a funny option, I'd probably say a goat cart. Yeah. Okay, look. I know it's not an actual weapon, but just like imagine me on my funny little goat cart. Just like not only will I have something that I could travel on, but like I can like run things over. Like I can be like freaking, like I can be crazy about it. I could be like, you can't get in my way, zombies. I'm gonna kill you all with the power of my goat cart. And like, what are the zombies gonna do? freaking like unless if it's a horde, they're probably gonna be like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get run over and I can't do anything about it. Well, dang. So yeah, freaking a goat cart. If like be like, like what are the zombies gonna do? Unless if it's like unless if it's like a horde of them, maybe they'll stop my goat cart. But for the most part, I think I can succeed. I feel like I can like run them over and I'll be pretty satisfied with it. Though there is also the issue of gas. I'll probably have to steal a lot of gas. Yeah. Anyways, next one. Oh, wrong one. Okay, you were invisible for a day. Where would you go? So, invisible. Now, let's pretend that when things are invisible, it's just like everyone in the world is like frozen or something like that. And like, I'm like basically in the state of immortal, so I don't age. And like the light, because when if you freeze time, light, is an issue. Because, yeah. Imagine all that stuff's not an issue. I would be a dirty thief. I will not lie. I would be a dirty thief. Because like, look, I'm invisible. What are they gonna do? Freaking, I can literally run into a rich person's mansion, steal their equipment, and if they look through their security cameras, what are they gonna see? They're just gonna see their items floating away. At most, they'll probably think a ghost is haunting them. But no, in reality, it's just little old me, invisible, doing my own thing, and they will never know. Plus, I could also just go into electronic stores, into the bank, and I'll just like walk off with like the freaking money or electronics, and like you can't do shit. I'm already a free. You can't like unless they track the cameras all the way to where then I have to like find a place where the cameras won't find me, and then I'll put all my items there, so when I'm no longer invisible, I'll retrieve them the next day and be like, ha, I'm rich, and not only am I rich, but I also have more electronics for whatever things I need, hey, I already have 2 monitors, maybe I'll have a third one, just because it will be a little funny, it could be a little humorous, why not? Okay, if you had to live in a TV show for 1 week, which show would you live in? Now, this is hard, because I never really put too much thought into this, and like, I feel like I could do like the funny option, be like, oh, I'll be in the Truman Show, because then I'll know that I'm being recorded, and I'll just like actively frick with the people who are like on set trying to like keep me, in line. I'll be like, nah, I'm going to disrupt your day. I'll be the freaking biggest asshole in the world. I'll make myself be the most unlikable protagonist in the world. So you have to like freaking figure out how to like freaking maybe they'll get so fed up with me that they'll be like, we have to switch main characters. But if not that, and the Truman Show, like the Truman is still, the freaking guy, the guy's still like the protagonist, then I'll just probably be there, just like I'll probably be like in every scene, just in the background doing like the most dumbest things, be like, haha, I know this is a show, you can't do shit, I know this is a show, but at the same time they'll probably kick me out. Now, if I'm speaking about anime, I feel like, here, look, listen, Shield Hero. Now, I know that's a world where there's fantasy stuff and like there's things that could kill me, but as long as I stay in like the cities, and like I know you have to also worry about like the waves that are like coming at you, but here's the thing, if I go into that world and I choose how things work, I'd purposely freaking like be like one of the people in the lineup and like go to the Shield Hero, just because like if the red-haired girl still tries to team with him, I want an opportunity to slap her so bad. I hate that character more than anything in this world. Like, she irritates me more than anything. So if I could get into that world of the Shield Hero, I'd be like, yeah, I'll slap her. I'll slap her so good there. Okay, aliens have taken the planet Earth and they put humans in zoos. What would you want your enclosure? Now, if I were to be in a zoo, I'd probably want a gaming room and a lot of plushies and just like a lot of comfortable stuff. Like, they'll probably be like, in this exhibit is the very weird girl who likes all things soft and sits by her like gaming chair a lot because she keeps playing games. That is them. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's my life. I like it. Like, what you gonna do? Like, you're gonna disrupt me on my little gaming chair? Let me be on my little gaming chair. Let me be satisfied with life. Just provide me the little electronics that I can, and I'll be there, and I'll be peaceful. Like, I'd probably be, like, the most obedient freaking, like, animal in their zoo. I'm a human yet. Like, but hey, aliens probably think we're animals, so I'll probably be like, oh, yes, I must. As long as you give me comfortable bed, good plushies, and a little section for games, and you provide me games every single time, I'd be satisfied. Is it a lame option? Maybe, but like, it works. Hey, you want us to do me somehow? Freaking, that works. Just give me comfort stuff, and do me some good, and also don't forget to feed me. That's all. You know, if you're an alien putting people into a zoo, just don't forget to feed the people. Anyways, you've gone missing, and your family and your friends discover that you've joined a cult. What type of cult is it? I never thought of this, actually. You know, what cult would... Now, not speaking of, like, the very scary cults. If it was, like, a humorous cult, I'd probably be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Like, even if it's something as dumb as being like, oh, yes, this is the cult for waifus, and my waifu is the best, so you have to follow my rule. And I'll be like, oh, okay, then. That is a weird thing, but hey, it's a cult, and it's better than the ones that sacrifice you. So I'm like, hey, as long as I praise your waifu, I'll be okay with the cult. But if it's a cult that I'm willingly participating in, it'd be the cult of the blobfish. Okay, maybe not that, but like it would be something dumb that I'll probably be like, yeah, if it's dumb and you provide me shelter and like you give me the funny little brochures of how the cult sessions are gonna go, I'll probably be like, yeah, I'll be fine with anything as long as it's not hurting people and as long as it's good and funny. I'll be like, yeah, I'll genuinely be fine with whatever nonsense this cult is up to. it's you know, it's a weird thing to say, yeah, I'll be fine with joining a cult but like again, if it's a funny one, I wouldn't mind what it is. Okay, you find a friendly alien in the woods. What would you do? Now look, there's a webtoon that I've read a while back where like they found like just like an innocent alien where they're like, I don't know anything about the human world and I just would like guidance, my friend. Like, bruh, I would immediately say yes. I would be friends with that freaking alien on the spot. Because I'll just look at them and be like, if I befriend this alien, despite how they might be, if I befriend this alien, if their friends ever come over to take over the world, they'll be like, oh, this human is the good one. We can keep this one in a zoo. Again, like relating to the other one. I'll be like, yeah, I'll befriend an alien if I find one. And again, they're friendly, so maybe their other groups of aliens won't think of taking over the world. But if they do, then dang. But if they don't, then yeah, I'll probably be like, yeah, sure. Freaking, I'll befriend you. I'll give you shelter. And as long as you put in a good word for me to your friends, you'll be good with me. And I won't turn you into the government, because the government will do some experiments on you, bruh. We don't want that to happen. You're too cool for that, man. You're an alien. You're still, actually, you might not be human, but you're still another living being. So, I'll let you live, okay? I'll let you live. I won't turn you into the government. Okay, you have the task to get the cashier to give you a weird look. What 3 items would you buy at a grocery store? Okay. Now, this might not be the weirdest thing, but they'll probably give me like a little, They'll probably do a little noise, like at most this will probably be the face they'll give me. Okay, I can't do a proper, but they'll probably give me a little bit of a side eye. And here's the list. It'll be Crocs, glitter, and a painting kit. Now, at most, if I get like a very creative cashier, they'll probably be smiling instead. They'll be like, oh, you're a creative person, that's nice. But then other people will probably be like, why do you have Crocs and glitter and stuff like that? What are you planning to do with that stuff? And I'm like, I'm gonna make some rocket shoes. Okay, not really, because then I have to buy rockets. Honestly, maybe if I bought Crocs, glitter, and rockets, maybe that will be a little bit more intimidating, because they'll be like, what the frick is this person planning? Are they planning to like catch someone's shoes on fire with Crocs? Or are they making a weird celebration because they also got some glitter? Like, hey, if you gotta somehow make the cashier look at you funny, you know, just Crocs all the way. Okay, maybe that's... Okay, anyway, maybe not that, but it could work. AI robots are at war with humanity. You're suspected of being a robot. If you had to prove that you're human, what would you do? Now, look, there's the easy option of, like, you know, just being like, oh, I bleed, I poop, I pee, that's gross. But, like, there's those options. But if... I'd probably be, like, the weirdo being like, okay, print out a paper that says, are you a robot? And I'll check mark that I'm not a robot. If it says, like, are you not a robot? And I'll be like, I am not a robot, because, like, what are the AIs gonna do? They're not gonna freaking... I can't spell robot. They can't go past the system. This system has been working for years. That's how I'll prove I am not a robot. They'll be like, this human, like a government agent, is all like, this person here. Like, I don't trust them. They're clearly not a human. We gotta, like, test them somehow. So, my dogs. So we gotta like give them a check mark thing, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's easy. I'll check mark it and be like, beep boop bop. I'm totally not a robot. Why is it whenever I think of robots, I always associate it with squares? It's probably just because that's just how I am. I associate almost everything with squares. Okay, next. You're walking on the path and you cannot see anyone in the distance. You hear crunching. I misspelled that. Crunching leaves close behind you. You look back. Why can't I spell for stuff? But it's too dark to see if anyone is there. What do you do? Now look. I easily scare. If I suspect that something is behind me while I'm walking out at night, I'm immediately startled. I'm immediately scared because I don't even like walking out in the night in the first place. The only times I willingly do that is if I'm walking my dogs. And even then, my father does that because he doesn't want any of the women in the house to go out at night, which, you know, good on him. But, like, if I suspect that someone was following me, I immediately pull out my phone. I'd probably call my sister and be like, play along. Like, I'll whisper, hey, play along, and then she'd be like, okay, and I'm like, I'll just be pretending that I'm like talking to like a freaking mafia boss, being like, oh yeah, I have like a freaking, like, either my father is a mafia boss, I'll probably say my father's a mafia boss, and I'll be like lying my ass to like save my skin, to be like, oh, you know, this one time I got like a freaking, like, I'll be like pretending I'm like talking to someone, be like, oh gosh, man, I got kidnapped before, but my father, he rescued me real quick because, you know, they're a mafia boss, they can't do anything because my father, he's crazy, right? And like my sister, she'll probably be listening to like me be like, what the frick is she on about? And I'll be like, just like, I'll still be talking, and whoever's following me will probably be a little too scared. They'll be like, did she say mafia? The frick? So I'll just be saying that, and I'll if I have like my bag in hand, I'll be like, oh yeah, and you know, it gets tiring carrying a gun in my hand, right? You know, a gun in my purse. I know it's for protection and stuff like that, but like, it's exhausting. Like, bruh, like the freaking, like whoever is trying to like freaking scare me or like kidnap me, or whoever the frick is following me in the leaves, they'll probably be like, yeah, this is not the one I should be chasing down. Not only do they have a mafia person for a father, but they strapped. It's not a smart idea. I should probably leave while I'm safe. And I just have to hope that they leave. So I'm like, oh, they're gone? Run. Because like the easy option is to run, but like, what if they're faster than me? I can't do anything apart from that. So, you know, just pretend that my father's a mafia boss, and hopefully that will do. Next one. You look into a mirror. The bathroom door behind you is wide open, and someone is peeking at you. Look back and no one is there. This would scare me so much. I will not lie. Like, imagine you're looking into a mirror. There's someone behind you, but when you turn back, they're not there. And then you look back at the mirror, and they're still in the mirror. My immediate reaction would probably want to break the mirror, but I know that's bad luck, so I'll probably just, like, cover them. Like, if the mirror is, like, stuck on the wall, I'll just cover it with like a blanket. But if it's not stuck to the wall, I'll just assume that the mirror is what's cursed. I'll pull the mirror off from the wall, I'll wrap it in like freaking paper or something, and I'll ship it far away from me so I can never see that again. And if it's my house that's haunted, I'll probably be like, I'm gonna get some sage, or I'm gonna get someone to exorcise my house. I'm gonna do everything. I'll throw salt around. Like, I don't know what I'll do, but like, if there's something behind me, like, no. And if it's like, ooh, imagine it's a clone of yourself that's behind you, I would be even more frightened than I would be originally, because, like, that's unsettling. Like, I've listened to, like, this one horror story about, like, this person who like, is, like, slowly becoming deaf, so they want to, like, at least be able to read lips, so they don't have to worry, like, they're, like, so they don't have to, like, burden their family to learning sign language, like, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna do my best, so they talk to themselves in the mirror as much as they can, trying to, like, read their own lips. But then at some point, they start noticing that their reflection starts looking more like, they look almost sickly, the reflection. So they're like, what the frick? Why do I look so sick when they look at themselves in the reflection? But everyone else around them is like, no, you look fine, dude. What the frick you on about? So he's like, what the heck's wrong with me? And then at some point, his reflection's like, hey, can you stop talking to me? We're gonna get in trouble. And like, obviously the dude is taken aback from this, being like, did my reflection just spoke to me? And at some point, I forget, like, the reflection is gone. Like, they got kidnapped or something, and, like, the protagonist, like, I don't know if they passed out or they just, like, didn't saw themselves afterwards. It's a whole mess. I'm just saying, it's a whole mess. I'm like, yikes. Just yikes. Next. A scary doll comes to life. What do? Look, Chucky might have the power of voodoo or whatever, stuff like that, but again, it's just a doll. You can just drop kick them like a football. Like, it's fine. Like, hello. If you're the only one, it's fine. If you're the only one. So again, a doll. If it's just like you can just drop kick a doll, you get thrown into a fire, you can literally do anything with a doll. And like, what are they gonna do? Like, unless they're like they already have like a weapon in hand, like you could freaking like freaking imagine this is just like a doll. I can't draw a doll right now. Like this is a doll, and then this is just like okay, wait, maybe I should have made those. Okay, this is the doll because I made this a little too big. So this is the doll, and then you're just like a normal sized human, right? You're just like, oh, this doll is out to get me. Well, you know that's a easy solution. Yeet, yeet. Just throw the doll. That's literally not that hard to do. Just throw the doll, and then you boom, you live, you survive. Okay, how many more do I have? I have a few more, so we're gonna like wrap up later. You feel yourself slowly becoming a monster. This seems like something I should be scared of, but at the same time, it could make for good profit. Like, you could just, like, do vlogs, be like, hey, day one of becoming a monster, and people would just think it's all CGI or something. They're just gonna think you're, like, you know, you're just really good at special effects or something, and, like, the profits that you bring. But I couldn't even be a freaking movie actor being like, oh, yeah, let's have a franchise of me as a monster, because I'm already turning into one. You guys don't even have to pay for all the effects and stuff like that. I am already there. I'm already the spooky scary monster. Look at me. I'm here to terrify everyone because I am the monster, and they're obviously gonna hire me because they're like, we can cut costs and people will probably think we did amazing with the effects, when in reality, nah, I'm already looking like a monster, so freaking why not? Now if it's the reverse and the teacher's the monster, look. I will literally blackmail them. If I have like evidence of them turning into a monster, I'll be like, yo, give me straight A's. Give me straight A's. And I won't tell anyone. I won't tell your family. They have like a wife or something or like a husband, I'll be like, yo, if your wife or husband is a normal human and they discovered that you're a monster, that's gonna tear your family apart. Do you want that to happen? I don't think that's a good idea. So if you give me straight A's and let me slack off, I won't tell anyone. I just won't tell anyone. And they're gonna be like, well, shoot, fine. I'll give you good grades. Just don't release my secret. And I'm like, okay, I won't. Like, easy as that. Easy as that. Unless they're gonna kill me, then that's a little bit of a different thing. Now, while reading a scary book, you realize that you're a character in it. Now, this is very similar to another question that I answered, but it's different because it's scary. I will straight up steal the position of the the final girl. Like, I will read every scene that the final girl's in, and I'll just insert myself into that, and then any scene that hints to me being close to the murderer, I will immediately go the other way. Immediately go the other way. Don't, like, if you have this luxury to have a freaking, like, a book telling you what to expect, you're obviously gonna be like, I know what to do now. The killer is gonna be at the barn? I'm just gonna avoid the barn. Oh, the killer is gonna be in my room? I guess I'll just sleep at a friend's house. Oh, the murderer is so-and-so? I can be like, oh, cops, look into this person. They definitely not cool. And they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll look into them. Like, obviously I'm gonna do that. Like, freaking, if you have a book, you can stop a horror movie from happening in the first place, or a horror book from happening in the first place. Now, the most evil creation comes to life. Your most evil creation comes to life. I forgot the R, dang it. What is my most evil creation? Shoot, okay. The only one I can think of at the top of my head is this one character. I can't remember their name exactly because I don't think I've ever given them a name. Let me see if I can find them. Let me pull them up. But there's like this one character I created so long ago, and I hate this motherfucker. I hate them. This motherfucker right here. Ignore how massive homie's like forehead is. Like, this character right here, they're like a straight up murderer and stuff like that. They're just insane. That's all I gotta say. They might not be like a creature, but like, and like a creep. I know creep is also a creation of mine. Ignoring my lore, but like, I wouldn't say they're like evil. That person I showed is definitely evil, and I don't know if I have any other character that I've created that leans on the evil side. Unless, wait, actually, I created this. Wait a minute. Of course there is. How am I? I'm so stupid. If you watched that one video I made with the evil mother, this sexy lady right here, like she is a little evil, honestly. As long as I stay on her good side and I just, act as if I'm totally on her side, and I'll be like, oh, I'll be your son's babysitter, or your daughter's babysitter, whoever the frick you gave birth to. And as long as I'm on her good side, she'll be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, fine. Just, just be like, if I was in the position of the protagonist, like if I was in her shoes, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just take care of the kid. I'll be fine. I'll survive. Totally. And I just have to hope for the best. And I think, yeah, that's my almost evil creation. So I think that's, I could probably survive that, maybe, potentially, I hope. And last question. Caught in a time loop with the same person kills you every time. What do you do? Well, since it's a time loop and I always come back to life, like happy death day or birthday, whatever. If there's like me, and then there's just like an evil person that just outs to always kill me, I feel like I'll learn like a lot. Like if they're wearing a mask, I'll just have to like while they're trying to like stab me, I'll just rip their mask off and I'll be like, oh, it is you. So then I'll call the police in the next time loop. It's really simple as that, honestly. Like it's really not that hard. But if that doesn't work, and for some reason that doesn't work, then maybe I could just try to kill them myself. I'll like freaking find a way to like freaking overpower them. Maybe I'll freaking Home Alone this. I'll freaking booby trap my home, and then I'll like when I subdue them and like they're like stuck in a net or whatever, I'll be like, okay, so you wanted to kill me? Joke's on ya. I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'll probably do that. But booyah, I only created 28 questions, because I don't know why. 28 scenarios. But yes, those are all my answers. They're relatively quick answers, but I mean, it's quite, I think quite quickly. Okay, that's a little bit of a lie. I kind of take some time to think. But yeah, okay, anyways, that's what I'll do. But before, I'm going to return back to what I said in the beginning, just to repeat it. I'm probably going to slow down a lot with doing, like, game-related, like, me playing games-related videos. Like, I probably still will, here and there do stuff. Like, for example, like, the DLC for the security breach, I probably will post a video on that, because, of course, I will. But I want to move on to doing videos more like the one I did with Welcome Home. So, let me move on to over here. Boom. Because, like, with Welcome Home, I had a blast writing the script. I had a blast editing that video. Like, I had way more fun doing that and writing the script than I do with just, like, editing me playing games. Like, don't get me wrong, I still find enjoyment finding random games and, like, playing them. But I find more joy with, like, analyzing things. Like I want to, like, freaking find games that have interesting lore, or just read books that have interesting stuff. Because, like, I know as soon as I get, like, my posts will be most definitely very slow for like a long while, because like I want to start off with doing like a Frankenstein whole video where I like summarize the whole book, maybe give my own little input here and there, and like I want to draw art for it, so obviously that video is going to take a while, because when it comes to like drawing, I have to also like come up with the design of what I want. Because like with Victor Frankenstein, like I'll be like, what will Victor look like? Because like in the book, Victor has like 3 stages in his life. Well, more than, well, no, yeah, 3 stages. There's him when he's like in the beginning, he's like a shattered man at this point. He's very weak. He's trying to chase down his monster. And then in like after that, when he's finally like retelling his story, he's telling the story of when he was like a kid, and then the story of him when he's like a teenager to being more to an adult. So obviously I have to draw 3 variations of Victor, and then same goes for like Elizabeth when she's like a kid, and then like an adult, and other things, and then freaking Clerval, and then there's also Frankenstein himself, which, did you guys knew? So you know how in the movie Frankenstein is always portrayed as like this big green dude with like, I don't know if they're green, but like a big dude, and like they look like grotesque or something. Apparently in the book it's completely different. Homie has like a little bit of yellow skin and like yellow eyes, but his features, based on what like the book says, were described to be more handsome. So I was like, what? Frankenstein's monster was supposed to be a handsome freaking creature? Okay, gosh, that's gonna be an interesting thing I have to design when I have to get around to that. Because like right now I'm writing the script. So far I have the beginning where, also another strange thing about the book, why is it that the freaking book starts off with just like this dude who has like a thirst for adventure and knowledge, being like, oh, dear sister, I am on a voyage to, check out the North Pole or some stuff like that. And then that's where he runs into Victor and then learns the story of Frankenstein. So like, imagine being the sister where it's just like one day you receive a letter from your brother, but it also comes with piles and piles of like chapter long stuff where it's just like someone else's complete story, and you're like, brother, I know you're a very lonely guy and you like thirst for having, and you're like, you just want friends and stuff like that, but you seriously had to send me the whole life story of this person you barely knew. You just met? Like I'd laugh if like one day I'm just like chilling at home and then my sister just sends me like a letter and she's like, yo, look, I've met someone and they're so cool and I want to like in the future if I ever feel like referencing back and like learning life lessons, I can reference back to this book and I will be, if I can look back at it and learn the tales of my friend. I'll probably look at my sister and be like, girl, you crazy. But this gives me motivation to read because again, I am dyslexic and I need honestly no amount of practice will cure any dyslexia, but I still train myself into at least remembering what words look like, so yeah. And also for as determined as I am to summarize the whole Frankenstein book, bruh, the author, they write so like so eloquently, like they write so well that I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I have to look up what this word means because I'm a little too stupid. And like the way they write stuff, I'm like, what the frick, man? Like they put so much heart into this. Like, and then there's just like the way I write, where I just write in dialogue. I'm like, how the frick do you do this? Like it's shocking to say the least. It's shocking. But yeah, anyways, I want to move my content from like doing games here and there, just whenever I feel like it. But like my posting will be posting things will be very slow until I get things ready. I want to put more effort into these videos. I want to like practice more with my editing. I want to do more art as well. So being able to summarize things such as books and stuff like that sounds like fun. And also like with this video, with this stream that I'm doing right now, I do want to also like turn like these little things where I like if I find like a scenario that I, answered a little funny, I might want to animate that. Who knows? And I'll probably still want to do streams here and there, like, because I like, if the security breach thing does come out, of course it will, obviously it will, but I don't know how long that will take. I might stream that instead of recording a video of that, again, it depends on if I'm up to it or not, but I think I will. But for now, I want to just focus on either doing videos on ARGs, that's the right word, right? I can't, like mystery thingies, freaking stories, more story-related stuff, and like maybe even TV shows if I ever get around to that, so yeah. And, I hope you have a good day. I better not catch you dying on me, and peace out. Ending title, woohoo.